Hi, everyone. My name is Harrison Lin. I am a fellow of the Society of Actuaries. So in celebration of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month, we want to dedicate this SOA thanks video to the SOA members, especially the SOA volunteers that have helped shape the actual profession. So with us today, we have Yixuan Song, a fellow of the Society of Actuaries and a devoted volunteer here to talk about his experiences paying it forward to the community. So really excited to have him. Yixuan, why don't you kind of start us off and say, why did you want to become an actuary?
Well, first off, Harrison, happy morning to you. It is definitely I would say not a linear path in how I ended up becoming an actuary. I entered college really not knowing quite sure what I wanted to do, but I had taken a few chemistry classes and I quite liked that in high school. And going into college, I thought I'll just continue pursuing chemistry. In my first year in chemistry lab, I ended up breaking way too many beakers. And at my school, the cost of which is you can't graduate or you can't pass the class unless you repay the cost of these beakers at $2 a piece. And those costs were quickly accumulating to the point where I'm like, should I really continue to pursue the rest of my chemistry classes, knowing that I'll probably have to add a few extra hours to my shifts just to pay for those speakers? And decided, no, probably not a good idea. So then I started thinking around and really asking people, well, what do they plan on doing after college? And I had a friend who told me that she wanted to be a life actuary. And at the time, I had no idea what a actuary is or was. But thankfully, there's so many resources available online. The now defunct Actuarial Outpost, Reddit, beanactuary.org, and just being able to have access to those resources and being able to have access to the SOA's directory of actuaries, I was really able to get a good sense of what the life of an actuary is, the type of work that they do, as well as had the opportunity to talk to a few Chicago area actuaries about what they do and why they both decided to pursue an actuarial career and are continuing to be an actuary. Having heard of all that, and also stumbling upon a budding interest in health, I decided to look further into the requirements to become a health actuary, which involves, in addition to the typical exams from the SOA, also just much more knowledge about healthcare and the health system in the United States. I ended up taking a internship at Milliman the summer of my junior year, and I greatly enjoyed my experience there, being able to first and foremost exercise my technical skills in Excel and SAS, which I've never done in my life, as well as other being able to just communicate with so many smart people addressing complicated questions. After that summer, I was hooked. And so, come seniors fall, decided to apply to a variety of health actuarial companies. And after a few years at one company and before transitioning to another, that's how I found myself here at Mercer.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah. So, Yishwan, so you've been an actuary now for a few years, but just from your experiences, you also have been volunteering. So, what has got you interested in volunteering with the SOA?
Yeah, for sure. So I've always had a interest in volunteering and giving back to the community. Within the SOA, I had the opportunity and the pleasure of both being on the Joint Committee on Inclusion, Equity, and Diversity, as well as serving as a grader for the fellowship, health fellowship exams. Being able to see that there are a constant stream of people who are interested in becoming actuaries and being able to help nurture them into a role that they may find fulfilling.
Yeah, I love that. I think volunteering, it's not only are you helping others, but there's fulfillment, right? Being able to realize that you're making a difference. So I love that you like touched on that. It's kind of it not only helps others, but it helps yourself. It's kind of a both things. So I love that you touched on both of those things. So the next question is, what projects and initiatives were you most excited to participate with in terms of volunteering, either with the SOA or other organizations?
Yeah, I can speak to two different experiences. Within the SOA, within the JCIED, I had helped out with the Be an Actuary event for 2022. The Be an Actuary event is the Be an Actuary Day is a series of events where we had colleagues both from the SOA as well as the CAS present to high school students across the US talking about what is an actuary, the type of work that we do, and why people with strong or budding mathematical skills might be interested in pursuing the profession. I think it's one of those secret professions among some populations that where being able to even just give them the opportunity to learn about the profession would open doors that would otherwise be completely invisible to them. And the opportunity that I had in being able to help plan and steer and come up with the contents for these days was a delightful opportunity to give back to the community and to give back to the SOA.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually helped volunteer with the Be an Actuary Day a couple months
Oh,
ago,
how was
and
that?
it was great. Well, first of all, kudos to the team for planning it. I mean, it was just a lot of, I'm sure there was a lot of behind the scenes. So kudos to the team, which includes you, for helping out. But it was great to be able to just connect with students, being able to just talk with them about the career. I think you talked about the profession being could be invisible to certain people, and this is a way for them to get that. So I think that's great. So, as you may know, May is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So, how has your heritage and culture shaped your experiences and your decisions to become an actuary?
I think for most of my educational career, I had almost a ambivalence towards not being stereotyped as someone an Asian with glasses with good math grades. Although, to be fair, in college I was a solid B and C math math guy. The only reason why I was able to graduate at all really was because I had really good humanities grades. I loved writing papers. I hated anything to do with problem sets and having to think through proofs. Oh my gosh, proofs are the worst. Actually,
That was
let's cut
tough.
that out. Let's not talk about proofs because
Okay.
you definitely need to have those critical thinking skills that are learned in math classes in order to be successful on the exam. Or you could just cram a lot, which is what I did. Um, I think it's definitely interesting to see that when the CES had published a report that broke out the not only the demographics by Asian American, by Black or Hispanic or white, male and female. It's interesting to see that we, as a broad group, generally speaking, generalizing in broad strokes, we are overrepresented, but only overrepresented in the analyst, in the entry level roles. And just like other professions where there are glass ceilings or bamboo ceilings or a variety of other ceilings, we see that as as we rise through the ranks, there's gradually less and less Asian Americans. There's gradually less and less minorities through in managerial, in directorial, in vice president, president, CEO, CFO roles. And being able to conceptualize that and to really figure to really talk through that with my fellow actuaries and to really understand how do we make the profession more inclusive? How do we make the profession more diverse, but not only at the entry level, not only in attracting talent, but being able to retain people in the profession and to have them understand and see and realize that there is an opportunity to climb up through the corporate ranks, to be able to gradually take on more responsibility.
Okay, cool. Well, Yushwan, I know that you talked a lot about, different volunteer opportunities that you've done, but so for you with the SOA, what events or opportunities that are coming up with the SOA that you would consider that you're excited about?
Harrison,
Hmm.
one of the events that I'm looking forward to volunteering with is the diverse networking session. Public speaking is something that you are interested in, but for one reason or the other are hesitant to do. I think look forward to this event. I think it will be very helpful and very exciting to those who are interested.
Nice. Yeah. Well, you gave us a little sneak peek, so I'm going to be on my edge of my seat for when the announcement comes out for all that.
I have to wait a while.
Okay. Yishwan, thank you so much for your time. It was just an honor to get to catch up with you again and just kind of hear about your experiences. And I'm personally looking forward to watching you grow as an actuary and a volunteer, and I cannot wait to see how your career and as you continue to personally grow in all other areas in your life. So yeah, so thanks again for this time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Harrison.